Have you ever found yourself sitting quietly, maybe with a cup of tea in hand, thinking, is this all there is? Not in a sad or regretful way, but more like a gentle nudge inside, asking what's next. After years of working, raising a family, or just navigating the ups and downs of life, it's only natural to wonder what comes after the noise fades a bit. And here's the beautiful truth. Life after 60 isn't an ending, it's an opening. A new chapter. And just like a good book, the story can get richer, deeper, and even more meaningful as it unfolds. The idea of a purpose-driven life isn't reserved for the young or the overly ambitious. In fact, finding purpose after 60 might be even more important, because now you have something you didn't have before: wisdom, time, and the freedom to choose what really matters to you. Creating a meaningful life at this stage isn't about chasing big achievements or proving anything to anyone. It's about waking up in the morning with a reason to smile, feeling connected to something beyond the routine, and knowing in your gut that your days still count for something. And they absolutely do. Let's talk about what that looks like. What it feels like to build a life that feeds your spirit and gives you direction again. Sometimes it starts by simply giving yourself permission to try something new. Maybe you've always loved painting but never had the time. Or you've wanted to volunteer at the local shelter but didn't know where to begin. Purpose doesn't have to shout. It often whispers. It lives in those quiet moments when you lose track of time doing something that lights you up. So let's start there, with curiosity. That small, powerful spark that lives in all of us, no matter the age. When you follow what makes you curious, even in the smallest way, you start to unlock the door to something meaningful. You don't have to know where it leads. Just start walking in that direction. Pick up the brush. Call the organization. Sign up for that library class. That one simple action can shift your whole perspective. Another meaningful idea is reconnecting. With people, with passions, or even with yourself. It's easy to drift into routine and forget how good it feels to truly connect. Maybe it's reaching out to an old friend you haven't spoken to in years. Maybe it's joining a walking group or a community garden. Human beings were never meant to do life alone, and just one real connection can bring surprising joy back into your day. Sometimes, reconnecting means having an honest conversation with yourself. Asking, what do I need now? What have I been putting off? What kind of person do I still want to be? Because the truth is, you're still becoming. Life didn't stop at 60. You didn't freeze in place. You are still shaping your story, still creating, still growing. And with that truth comes a kind of quiet power. Because this stage of life isn't about rushing. It's about being intentional. You can choose more than ever how you spend your time and who you give your energy to. That freedom is the foundation of a purpose-driven life. So whether it starts with curiosity or reconnection, whether it's a tiny step or a bold leap, you're not behind. You're right on time. And as we keep going, we'll keep exploring the ways to bring even more meaning, more joy, and more direction into your life, starting exactly where you are. Now that we've talked about curiosity and connection, let's dive a little deeper into the power of giving back. One of the most fulfilling ways to create a purpose-driven life after 60 is to focus on how you can contribute to others. Giving back doesn't have to mean huge acts of charity or taking on big responsibilities. Sometimes it's the little things that make the biggest impact. Think about the skills you've developed over the years. Maybe you're an expert in knitting, gardening, cooking, or even financial planning. You have knowledge and experience that can help someone else. Perhaps there's a younger person who could benefit from your wisdom. Or maybe you can volunteer at a local community center or offer mentorship. When we share our time and talents, something shifts inside of us. We begin to see ourselves as part of something bigger than our own lives. It's not about what you can get, but what you can give. And there's a special kind of fulfillment that comes from seeing someone else grow, succeed, or find joy, because you were there to help. Volunteering or mentoring also connects you with like-minded individuals. Sometimes, the biggest reward isn't just the act of giving, it's the people you meet along the way. You'll find a renewed sense of purpose in the friendships and relationships you build while making a difference. And that sense of belonging, that feeling of being part of a community, is priceless. The next step in creating a purpose-driven life is taking care of your health. And I don't just mean eating well or exercising regularly, although those are certainly important. I'm talking about nurturing your body and mind in a way that supports your overall well-being. At 60 and beyond, we often think about how to maintain our health, but what if we also thought about how to enjoy it in new ways? That means finding activities that not only keep you physically active, but also spark joy. Maybe it's dancing to your favorite music in the living room, gardening, or even joining a group that does low-impact aerobics or Tai Chi. It doesn't have to be intense, but it should be something that makes you feel alive and connected to your body. But it's not just about the body, it's the mind too. We're often told that as we age, our cognitive abilities may start to decline. But the reality is, we can challenge our brains and keep them sharp by trying new things. Maybe it's learning a new language, playing a musical instrument, or doing puzzles. Keeping your brain engaged not only enhances your cognitive health, but it also adds an element of fun and curiosity to your life. By taking the time to nurture both your body and your mind, you're setting yourself up for a more vibrant, energized life. And the more energized you feel, the more you'll be able to engage with your purpose. So far, we've talked about exploring new interests, reconnecting with others, giving back, and taking care of your health. Now let's talk about creating a legacy. This is something that can truly fill your heart with meaning. A legacy doesn't have to be something grand or monumental. It can simply be the values, wisdom, and love you pass down to the next generation. Maybe you have stories to share from your own life, stories that can inspire and guide younger people. Perhaps you have traditions you'd like to pass down, whether it's cooking a particular dish or teaching a hobby. Creating a legacy is about looking at the long-term impact you have on those you care about. And it can start with simple moments, simple conversations, and small acts of kindness. When you create something lasting, whether it's a piece of art, a book, or even a heartfelt letter to someone, you're telling the world, I was here and I mattered. That feeling of leaving something behind, something that outlives you, brings a deep sense of fulfillment. It's a way of contributing to the world beyond yourself, ensuring that your life's work and lessons continue to resonate. As we reflect on all these steps, curiosity, connection, giving back, health, and creating a legacy, we see that a purpose-driven life is not something that happens overnight. It's a gradual process, one small action at a time. Each step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to living a life filled with meaning, passion, and a deep sense of fulfillment. Now, as we've explored different ways to create a more purpose-driven life, let's talk about something that ties it all together: living with intention. This might sound simple, but when we reach a certain stage in life, it's easy to fall into habits of autopilot living, just going through the motions without really thinking about why we do what we do. Living with intention is about bringing your focus back to what truly matters, being mindful of your choices and acting with purpose. At this point in life, you have the unique advantage of being able to evaluate what's truly important to you. What do you want to spend your time doing? What do you want to invest your energy in? You no longer have to say yes to everything. This is your time to choose what brings you joy, fulfillment, and growth. It's about saying no to the things that drain you and yes to the things that fuel you. You have the power to eliminate distractions and focus on the people, activities, and experiences that align with your values. Whether it's nurturing a close relationship, taking time for self-care, or pursuing a passion you've always put on the back burner, living with intention means actively choosing how to live your life each day. As you move forward, it's important to recognize that it's okay to change your mind, to pivot, or to adjust your goals. Life doesn't have to be rigid, and neither do you. Purpose evolves, and so do you. The key is to remain open, stay curious, and trust that every step you take, no matter how small, is part of a larger journey toward a more fulfilling life. One of the most powerful tools for intentional living is setting boundaries. In your younger years, it's easy to feel pressured to please everyone around you, whether it's family, friends, or colleagues. But at this stage, you've earned the right to set boundaries that protect your time and energy. You can choose how much you give to others and when to say no. Boundaries are not about shutting people out. They're about creating space for the things that are most important to you. Whether it's having time for a hobby, spending time with loved ones, or simply having quiet moments for yourself, setting clear boundaries helps you avoid feeling overwhelmed and ensures that you're living in a way that feels good to you. Finally, let's talk about the power of gratitude. As we age, it's easy to focus on what's missing or what's changed. But the truth is, there's so much to be grateful for, even in the later years of life. Gratitude shifts our mindset from lack to abundance. It helps us see the beauty in the everyday, the joy in simple moments, and the lessons in our struggles. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring challenges or pretending everything is perfect. It means recognizing the gifts that life offers, even in the midst of difficulty. When we focus on gratitude, we start to appreciate what we have right now: our health, our relationships, our accomplishments, and the lessons we've learned along the way. It's a daily practice that can transform the way you experience the world. As you move forward in creating a purpose-driven life, remember that you don't need to have everything figured out right now.